Hey guys, making sure that all systems are go, everything's okay. I think it is. How you guys like my new digs? What do you think? Well, I'm trying this new virtual background, so please comment. Let me know what you think about it. But anyways, it is me, Danielle J. Mitchell, your up and coming queen of real estate, and I'm here to give you today's and this week's Tuesday tip at 2. And today I want to be talking about how do I decide on where I want to live? How do I decide on where I want to live? Okay, so I'll give an example of my current clients right now who are under contract. Last year this time they were looking for places. They didn't have me as their realtor, but it's okay. It's all right. But they were looking for properties in a very specific area, and they were unsuccessful. They were unsuccessful in finding something that they really liked. And this year they had me as their realtor, and we were able to come into contract relatively quickly, right? And with this market, that is like unreal because this market is aggressive nowadays. It's a seller's market. I've talked about that before, but there are some who do not know where they want to live. Some are more kind of like, hey, I want to live in this area, but it doesn't have to be this exact neighborhood, which is fine. And then there are those who are like, I want to live in the DMV section. All the I want to see if I can find a house in the whole M section and the whole and include New Jersey and include New York, include everywhere in there, right? So I really wanted to talk about the fact that having that vast, okay, making sure my video is okay. Sorry, having that vast kind of not ideas, but not being sure of where you want to be is not a good thing. Sometimes it's like, oh, well, I'm being flexible as to where I want to live, but that's not always a good thing. And we're just going to go through some ways. Number one, each area has their own taxes, right? So your pre-approval in New Jersey is different from in Philadelphia. Even in the Pennsylvania area, your pre-approval in Delaware County is different from in Philadelphia or in Montgomery County. Okay, so I just wanted to briefly just go through some ideas to help hone in on where do you want to live? Where do you want to live? Okay, so one of the things you have to consider is affordability. Okay, affordability, and really that it's not about the affordability of the house because you're already pre-approved for something, and hopefully the area you're looking in has the pre-approval that you're looking for, right? So affordability meaning you can't just consider your housing expenses. You have to consider your groceries. You have to consider gas, utility service, water, taxes also, okay? Speaking of taxes, the other thing you want to consider is taxes. Like I was talking about before, um, you have places that have no sales tax. What's close to us is Delaware that has no sales tax, which is fantastic. That have very low real estate taxes, which is fantastic as well. So you want to consider that. Also, your taxes, again, affect where what you can afford. Okay, it can make the difference. It can make tens of thousands of dollars of difference depending on where you're trying to move. Okay, of course, Philly has very low taxes compared to Delaware, not that low, but if you're living in the Pennsylvania area or the I'm sorry Philadelphia area, then they definitely have lower taxes and compared to like Delaware County, Montgomery County, which are it's pretty much what's considered the Philadelphia suburbs. Okay, so employment opportunities, and even I wouldn't just even say employment opportunities, but also where is it relative to your place of employment? A lot of times, people want to live near what's important to them, whether it's where they worship, whether it's where their job is. Sometimes, you may not want to commute an hour long. Some people do, and that's fine. um, that's not a deal breaker for them. And and I've talked about deal breakers before, but you definitely, I'm going to talk about that further along in this video. Real estate value. Some people consider the hot spots, right? So there in Philadelphia, the Philadelphia market is booming. A lot of areas are getting some great traction as far as gentrification. A lot of people are investing into these certain areas and things of that nature. So if you find a property where it's like, hey, this is an area that's quote unquote up and coming, so I'm going to get in. I'm going to get in where I fit in. I'm going to hit the ground running now, and go ahead and buy a house in this area because I know that I'm going to the equity that I'm going to get out of my house is going to be ginormous. I don't think that's a word, but I'm going to use it. So, crime rates, statistic, neighborhood, if you will. So, you definitely want to consider the neighborhood. Me, as a real estate professional, I am not allowed, it's the law, because I'm not allowed to necessarily say, you should live here, you shouldn't live here, the crime rate here, the this here. I'm not legally allowed to comment on stuff like that, right? It's because it could be taken as redlining, which is not a good thing. Having bias against certain neighborhoods, and which comes against the Fair Housing Act and all that other stuff. So what I try to tell my clients is to do their research. If they are not familiar with the area, they should drive there in the morning time. They should drive there in the evening. They should drive there on a weekend. Get familiar with the area. Look up things about the area. I love. Now, it could hurt you as a real estate professional. It could hurt you or work in your benefit. But I love when the neighbors are out, and when my clients are able to ask questions or when the neighbors volunteer stuff, right? So I love that. So because they can say things that I may not necessarily be able to say, okay? Proximity to friends and family, if that's important to you. You want to stay near your friends and family. Education. You have children, look up the education system. Okay. Sometimes you want to get a feel for the neighborhood. I wrote down, the culture of a neighborhood, the community. Some communities have a lot of community events. They're very close knit and things of that nature. Maybe generations have lived there on that block in that area for a long time. So it's always good to know that. If this is important to you, maybe you work in Center City and you need to be near a train, okay? Consider public transportation. Consider, again, that commute time, all right? Food options. Maybe you like to go out and eat. Maybe you don't want to be too far from getting the good food. You definitely want to consider that, all right? And a couple other ones is the size of the city. I feel like this is more catered to those who are relocating. And you also want to consider the proximity to an airport if you are one who travels a lot. If you travel a lot, you might want to consider being somewhere where either you're near a train and you can get to the airport fast, or your proximity is near the airport in some way, shape, or form. So that is all for today. That is today's Tuesday Tip at 2. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And remember, there is no place like home. There is no place like home buying. All right. It is again me, Danielle J. Mitchell, your becoming queen of real estate. And I just want you to consider these things. If you're not sure about where you want to live, think about these things. Most importantly, think about your deal breakers. And I will see you guys next week. All right. Bye-bye.